been and took the pill.
That's just nature.
You should quite enough pill.
Okay, anytime.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll probably just. You ready? You feel
Yes, I'm
okay?
ready.
All right.
They're just
Just probably start by asking you to talk about whatever you think about how life was different for you when you were growing up from the way things are now.
Even from the time I was small to the time right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was.
And again, you can English or Salish, whichever.
I was born October 5th, 1926, here in St. Ignatius, in a little house. And now 61, I will be 62 October 5th. Things has changed very, very much. I have a lot of tragedies in my life, but mostly right now is loneliness. Crowding all over, just loneliness. No matter where I go, there's loneliness, there's a memory every day. And the children nowadays are so fast growing, fast and seems like it was slow for us to grow, seems like it. Seemed like it took years to get 16. And of course I got married when I was 16. And there's so much stuff in the reservation right now. There's the liquor and the drug. The drug has a lot to do with a test. I lost 2 kids by drug. And 2 nephews to do with alcohol or drug. So this is, where when he comes home, he tells me that teaching him at school to say no to drugs. They should start that long time ago. Long time ago. And I think in my way was the biggest mistake that Todd ever did was to open the liquor in our reservation. To me, I think that was one of them. But I drink too, you know, before that was a long time ago, I didn't see anybody, drunk. Only time I noticed that somebody talking about, well, I didn't know what drunk was on Christmas. Oh, it was a beautiful Christmas day. We used to have, my folks had a house, my grandparents had a house in town, a 2-story house. And we used to have lots of visitors on Christmas. And Ash Wednesday, doing the land, and South Sunday, and Easter Sunday. That church is filled with Indians. Just Indians. And now when I go to that church, just look at my memories. Well, so now I don't have to go to church because I'm lonesome enough as it is for me to go to the church. I go everywhere. I just care less. It is much memories. So I go to a little church because it's different, and that's getting to where there's memories there too. Too much to go on. And I miss so many things. And the school also is the memories I had when we went to school. And I always thought that was another mistake. They tore it down. They should have kept it up. That's where they should have the 2 Eagle Rivers. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that old, That's where they should have had. They'd had everything there. And that's why. And the powwows, I didn't go to powwows till I was about close to 10, when we was going to. First time we ever went to RV, I always go up there to RV to visit some other people. And oh, there was a lot of people, and we had our teepee by the ditch. It was a little ditch. And also, my grandma told us we didn't keep still. Even when we went to power, we had to keep still. Stay, around the tent, the teepee, and my grandma, that lady would come over, she put you in a sack and drown you. Sack woman, they call her. And so she was coming, I ran, I told my grandma, here comes some eggs, quickly. I told her, I never happened. Step to coffee was full. And when that old lady got in, I tapped this coffee in it. You know, you don't have to get a canvas and a cloth, like that. Put that coffee in there tight. She'd come in, I told her, if you don't drown it, if I pay you don't drown it, she said, that depends if you're good or not. Even if you pay me, I'll still drown it. And oh, that was the most frightful thing, oh God. So I gave her this coffee. She said she would take it, but she'd watch it. And I was so scared, so scared. And I got older, got to know her real who she was, And we went to Valley Creek. With my first husband, George Back. Went down to visit Louis Kay and Agnes, and they were staying with this old lady. And she was really, really old. And she couldn't, she was just like a little doll. She was so small, she was just like, and then she had a little back, and she was laying there, her daughter, and down, and Francis Vandenberg, one of the little outhouse, Agnes and they were there, Louis, I went to that. I seen this old lady, and I told Agnes, that old lady, I was so scared of all my life. It's always scared me. Her daughter told me, now tell her it's your turn to drown her. She was old, she was so cute. And Louis said, what was she? And Louis said, what could you squeak? And then she comes in and just squeak, halfway. Throw my husband's nickname was Porcupine, Throw him out, he's a porcupine, we'll get it. And he was happy. She was so cute. And as years went by, she passed away, And years went on, and they tell, I was married to Margaret Finley, and that was his grandmother. I said, I used to be scared of her. He said, well, we were orphans, and we stayed with her, and when she said something, it goes. We were scared of our own grandma, too. She threatens her, she leans her. And she used to have a sack, that big sack on her sides like that. And that scared a lot of kids. I was always afraid. And after I got old, I wasn't scared for no long. I wish you had somebody like that nowadays to scare kids.
Why do you think that?
Okay.
Maybe you could just talk a little bit more about
The culture.
well, about I was just thinking in particular, you were talking about the loneliness and maybe how things might have been different that way when you were young. Why were things less lonely then at that time?
At the time that's like that, there was a lot of people, many, many people. And there was just lots of Indians, lots of Indians. Now it was all gone. And a long time we used to, we'd go pick beetles to get up here. That was a lot of fun. We used to cross the river, me and, of course, me and my grandparents, my mother and my father, my aunts and my relatives, and my very small Sam and her family, Mary Finley and her family, and Climold and his family. We all go across over to the place we were in different places, like there was another camp, some across the river. And we more then we'd go hunting, we'd go fishing or hunting. Then for old kids, the rest of the family go picking beetroot, and I went along beetroot. It was good. Lots of fun. Come home that night and eat, and we'd have a big deal. Big, all get together for 7 eat, and just, and kids, we used to go play, a bunch of us kids. We were never scared of snakes. Not scared of rattlesnake, nothing. It was, seemed like we never seen one, just once in great class. And they tell us, be careful for snakes, but we never see them. Go climb up on those, and slows, those little hills like that, you know, just like that, just beautiful little, that earth was kind of, just got like a clay, yes, just like that. And then we'd go to these big trails through there, and I often think about, I know where the camp is, but I don't know if we got any more roads down there, where we all camped, but then another place, and then across the river was, sometimes the beaver has a go down on that side, the biggest used to be on that side. They, I don't know how many days be on that side, then they all come to the end, to the other side of the river. It was a camp, a bunch of camps. There were teepees, no tents, you know, and buggies and single wagons, and we used to stay up there. It seemed like we were there a long time, but maybe it was. They hunt and they drive, we picked the root and drive. And on the end, that's what they said, well, we're all going home, and stay home a few days, and then we all go to Chelmsford to the campus.
Wait 1 second, I'll fix that blanket fell down there. Okay, so then you go to Camas?
Yeah, we go to Camas Ferry, at the same palace, they were Pond Rays, that's what we're called. And that's always on this side. And we all go to Camas Ferry, and each individual had places to go to other relatives in Camas Ferry. There was a lot of Indians in Camas Ferry a long time ago, and each one would go here and there and there. We'd go to my aunts and my other grandmas, and then the other one would go here, and the Ignatius and the Woodcocks. And we'd all go up there and go each places we had to go. And the Woodcocks had Joe Woodcock had his own place up there, where John was up there. He had his own nice big house he had, Joe Woodcock, big 2-story building. And then the Pierres and Frank Nicola, his mother, the way at the other end of the town, what is it called? I don't think of the name. But check, I swear to Carol. And we opened, we started picking camels. There was a lot of people there. First it was open, it was out in the open. There was no fences, you know, we picked them. Nobody told us to leave or anything, you know, because we picked everywhere, we just open, no fence, no nothing. It was a lot of fun. We stayed in town, like right in the background. 1st of June until almost, so sometimes we stayed there all summer, last week. And come home, that's a few years as I got older. And also where there was some fences. There was a fence here, there was a fence that way. My dad said, well, these guys doesn't want us to, our horses, you know, to graze on any land, we have to keep in certain places. Then back in about 1935. Began at 34, and then into 35. We went back up there, and I guess I was big enough to go with my grandparents. So we went up there, and just me and my grandma and my grandpa. And my grandpa was getting very ill, very, very ill. And he had heart conditions, stuff like that. And my grandma went over with our camp, this one place, and that's when I noticed something. I might be 10, I might be 9 or 10. And the first prejudice, that now I know what prejudice, those days I didn't know. we put our camp in this old little building, like a little cellar, we put our camp in. And I took the horses, taped them out, and Grandpa could do it. We was picking bitters, that's right. We were picking bitters all day. My grandma told me, you better go check on your grandpa, there's people over there. So I rode on the horse and went to this, well, picking on little slopes, like where you pick bitters there, in there, those little slopes. They went back and my grandpa had the horses, and there was a fence like this, you know, and we were, so as to get open, so went in there. I come back, he was on the road. He had our keeping down, everything like that, our horse at the wagon, and he was laying under the shade. When I got back, he told, better hurry up, go get your grandma. Yeah. Come in, Mrs. Itsuya. It was quite kind, told us to leave. We can't camp here and can't dig bitter because it's all his land. Some disgusting, it's grazing land, you know. So I went and got my grandma, come back, we heard my grandpa was really sick. So I harnessed the horses, we got the wagon, put her in the wagon, went back to my Aunt Mary's, and she was very upset about it. She said she was going on the horse and look and see the sky. She knew it was the sky. She was gone so many hours, she come back, and she said, yeah. He said he bought it from the Indians, and that the Indians had to stay off that property. That was first one of my seeing her. And I didn't understand, you know, I didn't understand what it was, you know, just a Suyapi, how many she was native. And don't like Indians. And I thought, oh, it was sad, you know, so that following year my grandfather died. So then we didn't go anymore as everybody got modern going cars like that. And then that was one of our trips, you know, it was sad. Then the next we just up to what you call in Diretta. We go up there, also picking bitters and hunting. There used to be all of us over here, and we used to all go up there. Camp, all of us was our bench, all up there. We were to Kootenai. That was really fun. They hunt and stuff like that. And then the Kootenai told my grandmother. Pretty soon we're going to end up like Callis Ferry. They're going to be chasing us away too for this place. Didn't have no fences, you know. And I can remember myself, you know, told my dad, you know, pretty soon we're going to end up, can't come here no more. Can't hunt, can't get beer. You live on the mountains here, well, kind of, we used to have lots of fun there.
So that sounds like one of the things that was part of all these changes was
all the
the
changes.
loss of land, loss of Indian control of
Yeah.
the land.
So, and a few years after that, my dad passed away, all it went cocks up, and we didn't go anymore. Then end up to get closer, we'd go across the river, you know, what's all fences on, you know. Now there's a lot of things that I say in my way, that's the change of this reservation. It's all went to modern, you know, we sold out, went to different things. It's sad situation to see, but it's so modern, isn't it? And we used to go, then one time we went up, I wouldn't remember what year, we went across the mountain. I went with my folks, I and my brother Pete. And that was just my mother and my dad, I, Pete, Pascal and Ignatius Finley. It was a long time ago. Auntie Tweet, your boy, you know. It's like your workman, or you know, your young boy. That's what I tell Ronnie. He's like Tweet. Does a lot of things for you. Your boy, he'll come stay with you and help you with everything. We went across the mountain to Eagle Pass. It was first time, we went across and we went, as we got to the divide, and like that, till now, you be careful going down, a lot of things could happen. Went down there, well, so many things. It was going up just, it was, the road was, I don't know, about maybe that big, to me, not that big. And there was a straight down like that, just rocks, shallow. Way down on the other side of this canyon like that, beautiful canyon. And he told me, look down there and don't panic, he said. Stand there. Somehow the horse kind of snorted, like he says, now you watch the horse. The one mistake like that, you don't go down, one goes down, the whole herd will go down. My mother was ahead, then my scout was next, then I sat one horse, pack horse, then me, my dad, my pack horse, and India.
That's the end of the tape.
No.
Oh, sorry. Okay, go ahead.
And so we were going to the strip, it was going down, and we had a dog, well-trained dog, dogs, all trained Indian. So, hey, careful stuff for it. Dog on the other side of like that bank like that, he was running over, kind of like sideways going through that. But you couldn't hear him drop a rock when he was walking like that on the side. You couldn't, that dog wouldn't even roll a little piece of rock with it. He was just soft. The horse was just like this, so they tied those reins with the real tight, so they would, watch it. So, for the ways, and I heard my dad gunning. I heard these guys gunning. He said, do you know how many's down there? Of course, I knew how to count, They weren't asking me, they were asking all these, My mother stopped, so all stopped. Oh, there's only 19 grizzly bears down there. And is that lost? Is that in Coffee? Because I know in Coffee means 100. I thought that was, no, he said, that's